Cary State. That could have been anybody. You know?
Absolutely could have been. And joining us now is Scott. So Scott, you're with us now, connected.
Yeah,
hey.
We were having some cord issues. I had a new cord sitting here. I was like, I'll just use that one, and now we hooked up. But I was running outside to grab the old cord, and we're good now.
Okay, so. Well, a cord issue is better than a court issue. I'm glad that
no
you're...
cord issues. No cord issues currently, thankfully.
All right,
How
terrific.
about you guys? You guys are the ones with all the court dates.
Yeah, you know, Ian Freeman, who is one of the men behind LRN.FM, the radio network on which we broadcast, is facing 2 years in jail over an issue of false identity, basically. He's got 2 charges that basically amount to using a false ID. The government accuses him of using his birth name rather than the name that he legally changed it to, Freeman. So it's ridiculous, but the judge has taken his case under advisement, and so he'll hear what the verdict is in just a few weeks. So he could be facing 2 years in jail. We've got to watch that one.
So what he called himself Ian Freeman, but they wanted him to use his name that somebody gave him.
Yeah,
it was the issue?
Yeah, it was like he did a name change with the government because they made him get a driver's license, and so he made it official. But then one of the days when he was at the DMV or whatever to pick up his ID, I think he signed his name as his birth name. Yeah, and like so the government's like, "Ooh, you're not, Ian so and so. You're Ian Freeman. So now you've lied to the government." So, I mean,
my question:
it's ridiculous.
Was he signing his name Ian Freeman previously or not?
I don't know. I don't know that, and I wasn't there for the trial. But you can see the whole video at freekeen.com. If it's not there already, it'll be there shortly.
Because really, I mean, if you think about, they're asking for a signature. That's just an identifying. It's not words. It's just how you write your name. You could write anything. You can walk up and you can write an X, and you can say, well, if his last name was Smith, and he writes out Ian Freeman, and it looks like Ian Smith. It doesn't matter. It's my signature. That's how I draw my name. It's just a drawing.
Yeah. Well, maybe
it's like you're typing it in font.
We'll have him on to clear it up one of these days. Hopefully, he doesn't end up in the pen. Or as we call it here, the Keen Spiritual Retreat.
Thank you. Thank you.
People can go and get some thinking done. We've got one brave activist there now who hopefully will be out in time for Keenvention, which is a convention that happens here in Keene, New Hampshire, where people can hear stories of activists who have boots on the ground, to borrow terminology from the military. They're here getting active for liberty, and Ian is one of them, all as part of the Free State Project at freestateproject.org. So, yep, it's exciting. We've got CopBlock news. A lot of it comes from Keene sometimes, but not this week. Nothing going on this week, not that I know of. So
I'm quite jealous. I'm quite jealous of all the activists you got up there.
Well, come and join us. It's fun.
Well, then who's gonna watch over Cleveland then?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you can't leave your boys behind.
Yeah,
so, what's going on in the news, Scott? Is there any particular stories that have caught your eye this week?
Well, I mean, there's always some, but I think that we should go back to the petition.
What petition is that?
The thousands of people petition to consider CopBlock a terrorist group. I freaking love this. I love
Why do you
petitions.
Why do you like
that?
that?
I love them because it just shows where the stupid people are.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna sign a petition to tell somebody who doesn't care about what you have to say what you think they should do. So when did this petition start? Created on September 19th. So they have amassed thousands of signatures in, 5 days? They've got thousands of signatures. Now, if you're familiar with the We the People bullshit website, this is where you go and you petition your government to change something, and you get everybody to join in the chant. So this one was to classify people or members, which I don't. Is there a membership? Like, is there fees? Like, do I have to pay dues or something? Like, how do I become a member? Do I have to like sign up for it? So they have successfully gotten 3,000 signatures in 5 days. Now, I mean, that sounds like a lot, but if you know anything about the
That's
website,
not that great.
that's pretty good.
Well, yeah, actually, for the issue, yeah, that kind of stinks.
3,000. I mean, there's
Right.
3,000 people that would sign it just as a joke. So now, according to the website, you need 100,000 signatures.
Whoa, excuse me, that's Skype.
Whoa, that was perfect timing now. So you need 100,000 signatures, so they're only 96,000 away from having nobody say anything about this. It's perfect. 96,000, and I mean they have until October 19th. There's a sunset on this thing, but pretty much they're saying that the people who are quote unquote members of CopBlock, a decentralized organization with, I don't think there's membership dues, or is there a list? Maybe there's an email list. They want them to be officially classified as terrorists. If
I don't like you. You're a terrorist.
If they knew anything about what the government classifies as a terrorist, they would be smart enough to figure out that they already think we're terrorists. Should I be a member of such organization? It makes no sense. I can't believe people are falling for it. But these are the same people who would sign a petition for, well, let's ban guns, let's ban cannabis, let's ban this, let's make everybody wear purple shirts on Tuesdays. I think it's hilarious. But I made the comment about, I don't want to use the state for anything, but this really could be a defamation lawsuit.
Will there be a defamation lawsuit? We've got that story, plus your calls and more. We've got one caller on the line, so we'll be speaking with you. Dial in 413-418-COPS or send a Skype contact request to CopBlock Radio. You can also tweet me at DerekJMe. At DerekJME. We want to hear from you. CopBlock Radio.
Do you drink coffee?
Hey, Derek, I can't hear Scott at all.
Ooh, okay.
I was waiting for the break to say something, but yeah, I can't hear him at all.
All right. Thank you for waiting for the break to say that.
Yeah,
So, and it totally worked. I didn't catch that at all. Here, let me get the ads out of my ears. Hold on.
Yeah, I gotta do that too. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't hear that either.
Boom.
I usually can.
Okay.
Missing anything.
So here's what I want you to do, Dio.
Mm-hmm.
Please Skype CopBlock Radio instead of Derek J. Freeman.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell was up with that. It's just a little short USB cord, and I was like, well, I'll use this one, so I don't have a 6-foot USB cord sitting here rolled up on my desk. I don't know, unless that cord doesn't work anymore. You say we have a caller?
Dio. Yeah, I thought it was Nathan. Hey, Derek, want to add me? Oh, we got Liberty Phoenix. Yeah.
Hey, boys. Say, kids.
Come on, everyone on CopBlock Radio. Get on the show.
Say, why don't you call in, kids? Something says nice. Did you see that they're trying to start searching people's bags blocks away from the White House?
What?
Yeah, did you hear about the dude that jumped over the fence?
No. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he had a machete in his car or something. He forgot it? I mean,
Go Gadget arm. He's gonna go grab it.
Wait a second. We got Liberty Phoenix. Oh, I see. I should have added you to the call. Hey, Liberty Phoenix, you're on. Yo. Oh, wait, I've got you muted. Boom, boom. Yo, Liberty Phoenix.
Hey guys, did it still keep Dio on?
Did what?
Working.
No, it did kick Dio off. So I'm gonna kick you off, and then I'm gonna add you to Dio's call.
All right, good to go.
Cool. Woo.
Hey, I used Uber and Lyft, I used Lyft and Sidecar.
Yeah. How was your experience?
Awesome. It was awesome. Except for the one dude, it was only his second. It was only his second pickup, and he got freaking lost immediately. I was like, dude, you're killing me here.
He got lost? That can't work. Don't they have a GPS? Hey, Dio, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Awesome. Can you hear Scott? Scott, talk.
Yo, you good there, bud?
Yeah.
All right, rad.
Okie dokie.
Now I'm going to add Liberty Phoenix to the call.
Okay.
Who's behind Police State USA?
I don't know, but they're awesome.
They kick ass. They do such a good job.
They keep on getting the CopBlock fucking page like flagged or something because they post like memes and stuff like that, and then they come and they say that, do you want to unpublish the page or you want us to do it for you?
Yes, seriously.
No,
neither.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks. Hey, LP, are you here?
Yep.
All right. Oh, are you LF?
LPH.
PH doesn't fit for the Skype name.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. All right. Good. All right. We're coming back. Oop.
Or look for our page and event on Facebook. That's keyinvention.info.
You're listening to the best Liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
CopBlock Radio. We are live this Wednesday, September 24th, 2014. We've got Dio on the line and Scott across the tubes. Now we're taking your calls. Dial in 413-418-COPS. 413-418-COPS. You can also send a Skype contact request to CopBlock Radio, and then you'll sound as crystal clear and creamy as Liberty Phoenix. What's going on, Liberty Phoenix?
Hey, man, I just wanted to give a little commentary on my recent cop blocking on the 20th.
Go ahead.
I was sitting in my backyard just enjoying a fire, and my sister came up and was like, hey, there's some cops out front just standing around. I was like, really? And I jumped up and was like, let me go find out what's going on. And just kind of stood there at the end of my driveway for a little bit, and they were just kind of standing around talking to one another. And I was like, you know what? This is the perfect moment for some Bitcoin evangelism. So I ran and grabbed some of my Bitcoin Guerrilla pamphlets, went up to them, and was like, hey, guys, you guys know what Bitcoin is?
Is that the video
sat
that
there and
you just
educated them
linked
for
to me?
about 5-10 minutes and until they finally left. And I felt like, you know, I had done my good deed for the day.
What were they doing? What were they doing? Just hanging out?
Well, my suspicions are that they were waiting for like their sergeant or something to commence an investigation on my neighbor's house. Because about an hour later, she came back and said that they were back again. But when I went up front, they were interrogating my neighbor. I'm not sure what the incident was about, but I sat there and videotaped that for a good half an hour.
Do you have where's the video?
That would be at Bambuser. Bambuser.
Hey, talk into your microphone.
Phoenix of Liberty. I linked the Bambuser site in the Skype chat for you.
Okay. Oh, I see. All right, great. So, should we play this video?
It's really long. There's not much audio to it.
Okay.
But while I was doing it, something interesting happened. Apparently, there was a guy from Scotland that was just deciding to look through different Bambusers, and he jumped on mine and was telling me about how apparently there was a bunch of riots in Scotland by not religious fanatics, soccer fans, using religious fanaticism and the election as a smokescreen and an excuse to riot.
Okay.
That was pretty interesting.
And is he audible in your video?
No, but you can see his messages.
What? You can? Oh, because people can type to you in Bambuser, so you can see the messages that this guy was typing to you?
Yeah, and I was just
follow.
answering them during the video.
Okay, well, cool. We'll link to your video in the show notes of this episode. We've got your video now. You've sent it to me in the chat. If people want to watch or listen to that, they can get a hold of it there.
There's not really much to that video, so I mean, I would suggest nothing really happens too much. I did notice that one of the officers asked the gentleman when he was arresting him if the cuffs were too tight. So I'd like to think that maybe he was generous to him because he was on camera.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, sometimes the knowledge that one is being recorded makes for a more polite interaction. That's good.
Accountability always does.
Yeah, were you
Thanks a lot,
surprised by the story about the Secret Service searching bags a few blocks from the White House?
Oh, that's never a surprise.
Right.
The federal government encroaching on someone, searching them? Oh my goodness.
Or CopBlock becoming a terrorist group, or thousands.
I did hear about that, and you know,
You can
the
be
idea
a terrorist
that,
too.
well, anybody that stands up to the state is going to be considered a terrorist.
Doesn't
They're a
the-
little MO.
Doesn't
If you ain't on some
listeners-
kind of watch list by now, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, wasn't there a Fox News guy who was just added to the terrorist watch list by the Department of Homeland Security? One of the Fox
Really?
News anchors. Yeah, I gotta pull that story up. 'Cause, I mean, it's ridiculous. If everyone's a terrorist and no one's a terrorist, you know what I mean? Like, it's.
Everyone's a terrorist when it's convenient for them to point it out and say, hey, look, be afraid of these people. Don't trust them. It's just fear tactics. And
Yeah.
it's blatant now because they have no other options.
Yeah.
It's so obvious.
It's funny. Speaking of terrorism, I mean, they're throwing the word around to slander those who use cameras to hold police accountable. Those members of CopBlock or participants, whatever you call people who
Those
affiliate themselves with CopBlock. Yeah.
Degenerates.
But the meme was a clip, you know, a two-panel comic, one of Joe McCarthy holding up a piece of paper saying, I have in my hand a list of communists, but I can't show it to you. And then the second panel was of the president standing modern day saying, I have in my hand a list of terrorists, but I can't show it to you. And that's exactly what we've got today, is labeling people terrorists, you know, based on basically nothing, and it's become a meaningless word.
You goddamn pot-smoking hippies.
Yeah.
That's the power that be's general MO. You know, they take whatever the scare tactic is, the flavor of the month, and you label your dissenters that.
Right.
And
There's got to be a
generate-
boogeyman. Preferably many boogeymen, all at the same time. Any other thoughts you want to share, Liberty Phoenix?
That's about it, guys. You have a wonderful night.
Cool, man. Peace.
Later, man.
Yeah, we want to hear from you. Dial in 413-418-COPS or Skype us like Liberty Phoenix did at CopBlock Radio. So,
Yeah. Well, we got a little minute here. I just want to. I'm gonna throw it up in the chat here. The link to the CopBlock is apparently defuncting their store, so they're having a huge sale right now.
cool.
So there's the link for the store and everything, and they're gonna, like I said, it's not gonna be a store once it's all sold out. So get it while it's hot.
Wow. Okay. Well, fireside sale. Apparently, they're getting rid of the CopBlock store. This is news to me. I had no idea.
Yeah, they've got all the graphics and stuff up there for you can use them and do whatever you want with them. So, you know, I mean, it was never not free in the first place, but they're, you know, the graphics are up there for you to make whatever you want to make out of them.
Right. So I guess the idea is someone took it upon himself or herself to produce gear in the past, and now it's become decentralized as the rest of the project has, it seems, right?
Yep.
Everyone can use the images at copblock.org.
Yep.
You can produce your own gear, and please do. I mean,
You want a shirt? Go out and make it.
yeah. I mean, no one owns that image, as I understand it, so
Mhm.
go ahead.
That's
It
awesome.
would be cool. I don't know, what sort of gear would you make? Like a jersey or something? I think that would be kind of cool. Like a CopBlock jersey, like it was like a basketball team.
There should be uniforms, like
I
maybe
actually,
possibly blue with gray pants, maybe belts.
Belts?
Cookies.
What's a CopBlock belt?
at
No,
the
like a
behest
belt,
of
like a bat belt, like a cop.
Oh yeah,
They
like
make
an
uniforms.
oh right, like an ass-kicking utility belt, but with like
You got a bat
cameras.
belt,
Yeah, I like it.
cameras and batteries, and memory cards.
Yeah, extra SD cards, right? A slot.
at the behest of my attorney, he would like me to get one of those polo shirts for court.
Oh yeah, that's smart. They look great too. I've seen a demo of CopBlock.org wearing one that I guess you would call it a polo, but it looks like a bowling shirt almost. They are
like
really cool.
material.
Yeah.
Short sleeve button down the whole way.
They're classy shirts. So go get them, CopBlock.org. Everything's on sale, and then that's it. It's up to you to produce the rest. This is CopBlock Radio. Dial in, take control.
Andrew Michael Jones is a liberty-loving activist and participant in the Free State Project. He's also been accused of being one of the administrators of the infamous Silk Road.
CopBlock Radio, CopBlock the store, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I always thought that they, you know, we've always misused that resource, you know. Like we should have been the whole time like announcing contest winners and stuff like that on the radio show and stuff, and it just never worked out that way.
Okay. Well, that would have been cool, yeah.
Yeah, people gotta stop with the keep calm shirts. Oh, I'm so.
Yeah, I'm not.
Just stop.
Not
just
fan.
stop. Keep calm, and insert short phrase here.
Yeah, and basically anything.
Yeah, keep calm and whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just stop. Just stop it.
Yeah.
You just make one that just says "keep calm."
Yeah, I am fucking calm. This is calm.
All right.
I don't want to be calm.
Who wants to do the first story? We haven't gotten into any news yet. We've just been bullshitting. Anyone have any news? There's one in New Hampshire. Innocent grandmother shot during violent DEA drug raid in New Hampshire.
Wow.
Quote,
How did that happen there?
she went to pick up the baby. They
I
thought
know.
she was reaching for something, and they shot her.
Oh yeah,
Glasses.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Poor old people.
Hands where I can see them, lady. Oh, we got a caller. Nathan.
Hello, is this the Gays, Guns, and Ganja hotline?
You guessed it. How'd you know? Welcome, Nathan.
Well, you have
It
quite
is
the
now.
reputation.
Thank you. Yes, you know we'll introduce the show as that when we come back. Can I add you to the call that we've got with Dio so that we can have both of you on the air, Nathan? Will you share with Dio?
Okay,
All
no
right.
problem.
I feel like I need to run upstairs to get my gun.
Go get your gaze.
There aren't any here.
Oh.
Fresh out.
All right. I'll have to grab a few.
A few guns.
No, I was thinking I'll have to grab a few gays. Bring him on the show. Gays, guns, and ganja. Dio's got the ganja covered. Here, let's bring him
Definitely.
back. Hey, we're... Call on hold. Okay, how do I unhold? I don't think it's an option. This sucks. I'm going to have to call him back. Keep doing this every time. Sucks. Dio, call. Hey, Dio. Oh.
Hey, never mind.
Yeah, I keep doing this badly. Stupid fingers. Hey! Oh, busy. What? How do you get a busy on Skype?
No, he's on the other line.
What? There. Hey! There we go. Sorry, it's my fat fingers.
No, sorry.
You're with us now. Now I'm going to add Nathan. Nathan, are you with us? Oh, not yet. Hey, Nathan, are you with us?
I believe so.
Great. Okay, we've got everyone on the line. We're back in 10 seconds.
Damn, good timing.
You know.
Freekeen.com. That's freekeen.com.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
Gays, guns, and ganja. You are listening to LRN.FM. We're live. You can call in, share your stories of police abuse or police accountability. 413-418-COPS is the line that gets you on the air. Or you can send a Skype contact request to CopBlock Radio, as Nathan in Texas has done. Welcome, Nathan.
Hello. And remember, gays can't be bashed if there are.
That's a good point.
Good job, man.
So welcome to Gays, Guns, and Ganja. What's going on in your world?
I wanted to talk about the Ian name story you brought up. Is he going to court tomorrow?
Is he going to court tomorrow? Does he have court tomorrow?
I thought he had it this week or like in the near future, or maybe I missed the day that he did go.
I will.
That could be it.
I promise to check on that within the span of 10 minutes. So we will have an answer on that.
Okay.
What's your next question?
Well, I remember when he talked about it on Free Talk Live, and his version of events was that New Hampshire Supreme Court reached some kind of decision that you could just change your name. I think by
using
your
correct. Yes,
I believe so.
Yes.
And so I don't know if that means Ian brought in like a utility bill or something to prove that he'd already been using his new name. But at any rate, I think that's probably what happened.
It is true,
and the people.
To confirm that, I have mail that's been delivered to me, written from the New Hampshire State Court, that addresses me as Mr. Freeman.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, yeah, you just start using the name, and they go with it.
Well, did you ever get into a situation where like a bank or a company demanded that you show ID, and then your ID said your birth name on it, and how did that work out?
Yeah, well, I still use my birth name for stuff like banking. I'm not trying to officially change my name. I just use whatever's convenient. If people ask what's my name, I say Freeman because that's the name I chose. But if it's like, I have to set up a bank account, I've got my legal name for that.
How about you just call
me well,
about what, Scott?
Ian decided to take it all the way, and the result was that the people at the DMV refused to give him his driver's license. And so basically he came back the next day and signed his name as Ian Bernard. And basically, I mean, the guy, I think he had a conversation with the bureaucrat at the DMV, and he reached some kind of understanding that, okay, well, I'll sign this, and then once I get my driver's license, then I'll petition to have my name changed, and after that.
It's all ridiculous and confusing. At any rate, what we know is that this is all a paperwork snafu. It's not like he gets some extra benefit by pretending to be someone else. Like, what this law was intended to prevent is people pretending they're someone else and then defrauding people. But he's using his birth name instead of the name he changed his name to. It's not like he was doing it to harm anyone or to defraud anyone. It's just about government paperwork, basically. So I guess what I've learned from this is that the state is watching some activists very carefully, and no matter what you can F up, they're going to catch it and take an opportunity to seize you, put you in a cage, for whatever. It doesn't have to. I mean, one of the laws they slapped him with is called prohibitions. What the hell is that? What does that mean? Things prohibited? Yeah, that's called a crime. That's not what? Yeah, it's a law saying it's a crime to commit a crime. I mean, how do you charge someone with that? Just to slap them with an extra charge, basically. And then the other one was unsworn falsifications.
That was
redundant. That's redundant.
Yeah. So what else you got, Nathan?
Well, I wanted to comment on the use of the T word in the previous segment. It's
what T word? Terrorist.
Say it. Come on.
I thought you meant trans.
Yeah, get it off your chest, man. Just let it go.
Yeah,
Wait,
what?
What? Trans is a dirty word, or what?
No, it's not a dirty word. It's a T word. So what's on your mind?
Oh, okay. Well, it's what I think of when people talk about the government labeling people as such. I think what's really going on there is that people have faith in what the government says, in the sense that, I mean, there's people in your life that you probably rely on to some extent, and if they say that something's true, maybe you don't accept it as divine gospel, but you kind of tend to rely on it. I think what's happening here is that people kind of just are trained to give the state credibility, and so if the state says X, people are going to believe X. And it sounds simple when you put it like that, but that's really what happens when you're talking, whether you're talking about communists or terrorists or whoever the boogeyman is. It's just by virtue of the fact that they're saying, there's a group of people X, and they present danger. People are going to be afraid and believe that.
Yeah, that's sort of been the training for the last, I don't know, however long I've been alive at least, where the government folks and the media propaganda people all get on the TV and they say, this is the boogeyman this week. Everyone, be afraid of this. We've got Osama bin Laden. Yeah, he used to be our friend, but now he's our enemy, and be afraid of this boogeyman. And then, they just roll along the next person like, oh yeah, this person who used to be our friend is now our enemy. We've always been at war with East Asia. Be afraid of this enemy now. And so, the people have been trained to listen to that. So I guess if they come along and say, oh, these CopBlock people with video cameras who ask police questions about their legitimate authority, whether or not it exists, they're terrorists, so be afraid of them.
Yeah, it's kind of like in a courtroom where, I was going to say, it's kind of like in a courtroom how they always take the word of a police officer over a non-police officer.
Right.
Even though logically there's no reason to do that, but I mean and I don't know what they would say if you called them on it, but the dynamics of the system is just that's how it comes out. But to someone looking outside, it's completely absurd. And when I see someone walking around basically repeating verbatim something they heard on Fox News, I just kind of shake my head. And on some level, I'm surprised. But then I realize, well, I probably shouldn't really be surprised about this kind of thing.
Yeah. Speaking of surprises, did you read the article? This happened months ago, but you brought up officer testimony overruling anyone else's testimony. But did you know that in Indiana, it's now the case that officer testimony overrules video evidence? So it doesn't even matter what you recorded on video. If a police officer says that that a circumstance didn't happen the way he says it happened,
Indiana's lost their minds.
Yeah. No, seriously.
Wait. So it's like the cop stands in the courtroom and says, he waves his hand and says, it did not transpire that way. It did not transpire that. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, that's what I've read. Free thought. Well, let me make sure I can confirm that one. I don't know.
Have you ever heard the saying, a picture doesn't lie or a video doesn't lie?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
But apparently the laws of physics and common sense do not apply.
I don't know. I'm getting concerned after a Google search. I'm not seeing any Fox News reports on this.
Well, I'd be interested in hearing that story. Maybe get to see the video, because that's one of those stories where you just can't believe it unless you see it.
I know.
Or at least the average person.
Indiana they also have a law saying that you can shoot a cop too. So they've got both ends of the spectrum covered.
But yeah, that's just amazing. It's those kinds of cases where it just kind of makes me think that people are sheep, because things like that should wake people up. I mean, not to be cliche, but I mean they should.
I did get the verdict on this. Despite the appeals court's conclusions and deputies' faulty recall, the Indiana Supreme Court agreed with the trial court's finding. Quote, the trial court found, as a matter of fact, that the extent Deputy Clale's testimony conflicted with the video, the former was more reliable than the latter, meaning the officer's testimony was more reliable than the video. If the two conflict, which one's right? Well, the officer, of course. Video is not objective. That would be crazy. Well, we just might have gone down the rabbit hole in Alice's Wonderland. This is CopBlock Radio.
If there was a place that liberty-minded people had been elected to political positions and were rolling back government, would you move?
Crazy. Crazy. I can't believe it.
I'm telling you, Indiana's lost their minds. Being here in Ohio, you get a lot of news from Indiana, and they're just fucking nuts, dude. I mean, they've got, on top of those two things, they also have it where, I think it's actually illegal to record the cops there, or you
wow.
It's
like Indiana's got a good one though, where you're allowed to shoot.
Get both people's permission.
You're allowed to shoot anyone who enters your home, even if it's a cop who doesn't have a warrant. So
yes. Well, they also said you're allowed to shoot a cop if he's trying to unlawfully arrest you too.
Yeah. So just so that people believe me here, I've got the evidence on screen of the Supreme Court case here, so you can look it up. Don't take my word for it. Go look up this case. See it for yourself, because when you read things like this in black and white that says, to the extent that the deputy's testimony conflicted with the video, the former was more reliable, you just have to scratch your head and say, like, what world am I living in? So go ahead, Dio.
Yeah, it's
that was
interesting because...
What's up, Nathan?
I was going to say, you brought up something on the Freedom Teams the other day about, is it better to you live a happier life as a quote-unquote slave? And I've been thinking about that question lately because if you look at just like an average American family, I don't know, picket fence, 2 kids, whatever the stats are, you could say, well, this person is happy, this person is living a good life, but then I can't help but think logically, doesn't it have to follow that if that's the typical person in Indiana, for example, wouldn't they tend to take the word of a court if it said that?
I don't know.
It shatters that kind of idyllic image of, okay, well, maybe I think I'm a slave, but I still have a happy life.
Right.
Well, the whole reason why there ain't more of us out there is because people are afraid to lose the shit that they got like that. Your house and your car.
Yeah, no, that's different though. That's fear. Right? There's a difference between being ignorant of, like, say your boss is stealing money versus, like, you're afraid of retaliation if you, like, say something, right?
Whatever it is, it works.
I'll be right back, guys.
But oh, by the way, does anyone know how come Conan's YouTube channel isn't updated anymore?
Who?
Conan Soliday. He didn't post his latest episodes on YouTube, and I was confused and ended up having to go to his website.
It's me, man. Derek might know. Derek's a technology guy.
Or Liberty Phoenix.
Okay, I thought one of the hosts. All day. Okay, I thought one of the hosts was on there. Like,
Eric might have been on there because he was on somebody's show.
Yeah, Eric, the guy with the hat, he was on there.
Yeah. I don't know. He was on Liberty Bits because Eric's doing all that stuff. So he might have it, or at least more info.
Maybe Derek knows how he does those weird audio. I think he calls them audio drops.
What's that?
Well, he always seems to have the right audio clip ready to play whenever somebody makes a comment. Like, I don't know if I had said that cop Jedi mind trick thing, then he probably would have, like, in 2 seconds had an audio clip of, these are not the droids you're looking for. So I don't know if, like, he's some kind of tech wizard or how that works.
I mean, he just probably has like a bank of them because...
CopBlock Radio, we are live on LRN.FM. Sorry to talk over you guys, but we sure are back, and I forgot to play the intro music. So welcome. Here we are, LRN.FM. You can dial in 413-418-COPS. Gets you on the air. You can also send a Skype contact request to CopBlock Radio, as Nathan has done. And now he is talking to us. And sounds wonderful, by the way. What microphone are you using?
Using the Nady SP4C, something formerly used by Nima Vidati.
No way! The Nady SP4C? I've got one right here.
Oh, is that also? I thought you had the Audio Technica one.
No, I don't use the Audio Technica. Right here, I've got the Nady SP4C, and so just to show everyone, here it is on screen. This is the Star Power microphone. Get one of these if you want to call into the show. If you call in frequently, we've got a caller on the air here. Let's accept this call. And yeah, if you want to call in and you want to sound good like Nathan, use one of these. It's affordable. How expensive was it, Nathan? Oh.
I'm sorry, say again?
How expensive was it?
It was pretty cheap. It was less than $50, I think. It was more than $10.
Yeah, they run about $17 to $20 on Amazon. So go pick yourself up one if you like to call into podcasts, or if you want to do a podcast. We've got a caller from the 904 area code on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, guys? This is James. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida.
And what's on your mind, James?
Not much. I found y'all on TuneIn app on my laptop.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was just wondering. Yeah, I've been, I follow a lot on Facebook, and this is awesome, man. I appreciate what y'all are doing. I wanted to get y'all's opinion on, when all that stuff was going on in St. Louis, how, we had people in the media getting attacked from the cops there with, they were gassing them, shooting with rubber bullets. The Huffington Post guy got slammed into a wall without leaving McDonald's fast enough. And, I have a lot of friends that happen to be somewhat conservative or whatever you want to call it. And I'm trying to explain to them, look, the Pentagon isn't openly against people that have their pants around their legs and that are breaking windows. The Pentagon has openly been against people with libertarian views, gun owners, and on and on. So trying to explain that to them is hard when Fox News is dumbing them down so much, And I just want to get y'all's opinion on that.
Wow. What are your thoughts on that, Scott?
I think that the big thing is you can't like pick out something that they're so for. Like, they're for the police. So you kind of have to find that common ground with them. If it's somebody who's conservative, I personally would go after gun rights. Whenever I talk to my conservative friends, that's the direction that I go. I'm a recovering conservative. I grew up in a very conservative family, and I kind of helped to influence my family into a better way of thinking. But figure out something that you think that you can actually get that common ground with that person on. And I just feel, as a recovering conservative, it's going to be guns. Start to talk to them about guns and some of the things that are happening and some of the people who are being punished for not doing anything in relation to guns. And that can kind of be like the gateway drug to liberty.
This is the Gays, Guns, and Ganja show. You're listening at LRN.FM. Hey, Dio, any suggestions on ganja, or is that the inroad that he should be taking with his conservative?
Where is it, man? Who's got it, and how come I ain't got none?
I mean, what I like to tell people is, look, if they can't control it from getting snuck into jail, which happens all the time, how are you going to stop it in the streets? And that kind of hits them pretty good, too,
That's a great one.
The problem isn't you have to look at it. The problem is statism. It's not that they still believe in the police and they believe in the justice system. That's the problem. So until they don't believe in that anymore, it's going to be really hard to get them to try to hold cops accountable.
Yeah, you got to go slow.
I agree. The gun thing, I think, is the best way to go. I mean, all you have to do is kind of explain to them who's funding all this Homeland Security, giving them tanks and stuff from Afghanistan. This is all on record now. It used to be conspiracy theory, but it's out in the open, and people now it's, what are you going to do about it? It used to be, that's not true. That can never happen. Now it's, what are you going to do about it? It's like, well, hey, what are y'all doing about it? What are you doing? I'm telling you about it. That's what I'm doing, What the heck?
Do you carry a video camera with you, James?
All the time, yes.
All right. You got a live streaming app on your phone ready?
Yes, I got it right there locked in. And, I see people, like recently, I seen a lady with her kids standing outside of her car and a cop searching her car. And it's like, dude, I just want to pull over and be like, dang, don't y'all know the borders are wide open? You know what I'm saying? and you literally harassing these people with kids. I mean, the checkpoint, it's unbelievable in Jacksonville. And, and if you don't like it, then you support drunk driving and you're a reckless person and all that. So
yeah, I get that all the time. You support drunk driving just because I'm for people having some privacy and some freedom on the roads.
Yeah, I mean, it's Germany, you know, it's crazy, man. But one more thing, if I can get one more question in real quick. I have libertarian friends as well, and they feel like the borders, us having a border is a police state. I mean, I literally just had someone tell me this recently. I was in y'all's opinion on that.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Fences keep people in, too.
Yeah, if the border, I mean, so it's tricky because I believe in borders for private property, but I don't believe that the government can legitimately own property. So when they say that they have borders, I don't believe that's as legitimate. What's that?
What about if the states enforce the borders instead of the borders?
No, because states don't have rights. Only individuals have rights.
Right.
So individuals can have property and protect those borders. They can even contract with each other to build a big fence and protect their borders, like some gated communities do. But when states say they have borders, I mean, I've got behind me a map of the U.S., a map of the world, in fact, and I don't see any lines drawn on that one. It's just a big swath of earth and water. So those borders are not legitimate.
Derek, there's lines on that.
Yeah, that's right. But
land versus water.
That's land and water. But but to your friends who think that having borders make a police state, I mean, I would just say, I would ask you, James, you know, do you feel comfortable crossing those borders without permission from the government? In other words, would you cross without a passport?
I mean, more than likely not, because I want to go to jail. Because, I mean...
Oh, because you don't want to go to jail? Why would there be a threat of going to jail? You're just crossing a border. No, not doing anything wrong.
My problem is I can't do that, but the borders are still wide open, and no one's going to jail for that. I mean, everyone's upset Obama didn't pass the executive order, which is dictatorship. Yeah. But he didn't have to. It's happening already. They're going to be voting. I mean, they're already getting food stamps.
Should people go to jail for crossing the border?
All I know is this. I mean, I just feel like if you're productive and you already have a skill, then yes. If it was a good country collapsing into us, not a totally failed state, then that would be one thing. If people that come here that they don't even know how to operate a toilet. I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but it's true. It bothers me because if there's no constitution, there's no borders, and if there's no constitution, it's going to be a North American Union. And that's what bothers me.
I hear that concern, but I want to stop you there so that I can introduce you to a piece of literature that I strongly suggest that you pick up, James. It's really old. It was written in the 1800s. It's called The Constitution of No Authority. It's by a seditious man named Lysander Spooner, who actually took on the Postal Service back in the 1800s and won, and then they had to beat him out, make it illegal for people to compete because he did such a good job of competing with the Postal Service. But yeah, anyway, the Constitution is not legitimate. He basically boils down his argument to saying either the Constitution has been unable to protect against the tyranny that we have, or it has endorsed it. Either way, it hasn't done the job it's supposed to do. So, you know, while I understand your concern about like lazy people coming in to my home and making my environment a worse place somehow, the truth is I don't have any legitimate claim over the borders that they're crossing. I can keep them out of my house, but I can't keep them from going where they want to on God's green earth. I wish we had more time, but I'm going to leave it there. Please call in anytime, James. We'd love to hear from you. You can call in. This is CopBlock Radio.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously.
I didn't agree to that contract.
I totally should have kept him on. That was stupid to drop his call right before break because we could have talked. We could have talked longer. This was the long break. But we still got Nathan here. Hey, Nathan.
Yeah. What do you think, man? What do you think about that caller?
Actually, I was completely confused the whole time because I couldn't hear his call over Skype, and I was trying to play it over the stream, and it was crosstalk.
Are you
I got
using
something
headphones?
about the border. I am using headphones.
Excellent.
Oh, does he play in the other earpiece? Like it's like stereo where you're on the left one and the caller's on the right one or something?
No.
Because I only have one earpiece plugged in.
No, it should be that he's on both.
I didn't hear him either, but I'm used to it.
You did not hear him, Dio. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I was muting the conversation on here and then pulling my little muter on my...
Was it that you couldn't understand what he was saying, or you couldn't hear anything at all?
No, I couldn't hear him at all.
No, there's no audio.
Yeah, no, I couldn't hear him at all.
Okay. I got to change that. That's a setting here. It's probably because I messed with my settings earlier today. That's good. Good to know. Thank you, guys.
So the actual quotation is, but whether the Constitution really be one thing or another, this much is certain, that it has either authorized such a government as we have had, or has been powerless to prevent it.
Boom.
In either case, it is unfit to exist.
Yeah, I love that quote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish we could have had that guy on longer. I should have kept him on. Oh well.
Actually, I like the aggression principle that Nima Vedati found a lot better. I actually went back and found the episode where he came up with it, and it was this is why Nima was critical to the show, is that he came up with this brilliant observation.
Which is?
Oh, which is that the aggression principle was originally defined by Spooner in the same pamphlet that you mentioned, where if you disobey, then they send someone with a clipboard, and then guys with guns, and then in jail, and so on.
Yep. It's a brilliant piece of literature. I cannot believe that it was written like 150 years ago. Just blows my mind that the information has been out there for so long. This good idea, this gem of an idea that could literally free humanity, and it's just been hidden for like 150 years. People still don't know about it. We got libertarians calling into a CopBlock radio show who don't know about it. So we got to get that information out there. I said we got libertarians calling into a CopBlock radio show who don't know about Lysander Spooner. So we haven't done our jobs yet by letting everyone know.
I thought the last caller was a conservative.
Oh, good point. Yeah, maybe he was. I'm not sure.
He didn't really say either way. He just kind of said that he had some friends that were.
Right.
He didn't really say how he felt, but it sounded like he was very still conservative.
Right.
Because he was talking about borders and he used some keywords there: borders, productive, hammer.
I'll bet there's an expert system out there where, like, if you input text, it will determine libertarian, conservative, or liberal based on keywords that you use.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think it just sounded kind of like he just is like still, he's been taught that his whole life. I mean, I feel the same way too. Like, I wouldn't go crossing the border just for the fear of whatever jail or whatever. I just wouldn't do it.
Well, since you couldn't hear him, I'll recap for you, Dio. He was saying that he has libertarian friends who don't think borders are legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, I don't think that.
So what's it a good thing or a bad thing?
That's the thing, is you could think they're illegitimate all you want, but go try crossing one and see what happens. You know what I mean? That's what the whole.
Yeah,
thing.
that's why I asked him. I was like, well, why wouldn't you cross a border without a passport? Oh, because there are people with guns who are going to point them at you and put you in a rape cage? Yeah, that's why borders suck.
Yeah, that's why I asked. I was like, do you think people should be put in jail for that?
Yeah.
Like, he was kind of unclear.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe he hadn't considered that, or I don't know. It sounded like it was sort of a new thought. Like, well, yeah, maybe I wouldn't cross the border without a passport.
Well, that sounds such a bad idea after all.
Yeah, well, I think it's a problem. The problem is that you use the same word, border, to define a state boundary and a private property boundary. So maybe by separating the language, we could make the idea a little bit clearer that state borders are illegitimate.
I think they already make that distinction, though, because your property, that's your property line. That's not your border.
Right. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, isn't that a property boundary?
Yeah, I don't think people use that term. It's really only states that call it borders, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when was the last time you were banned from business and then the businessman said, if you cross this border, then X or something?
Yeah, good point. Hey,
the Border Patrol that I employ will arrest you.
I want to go to this video. Did you guys see this week of what's his name? Was it Indiana? Crap, it's so hard to remember all these police abuse stories.
Man, I gotta get it. Man, what the hell?
But this guy did an awesome job. I'll find it. We got 2 minutes.
Fucking Indiana, the land of the crazies.
Mom bakes vagina cookies for second graders. Can't believe teacher has the nerve to refuse them. What?
What's so wrong about that? There's
all shapes, sizes, colors, and tints. Wow. You guys have to put that up in the chat.
Isn't that what Hamantaschen is? Hamantaschen is a Jewish cookie. It's in a triangle shape. Just Google Hamantasch.
Oh no, these are legitimately vaginas.
No, but Hamantasch was made because they were supposed to. Not like they're originally reflect. Let me see. Yiddish word meaning Haman's pockets. Haman is the villain in Purim's story, which appears in the biblical book of Esther. Let's see.
And the enemy is Hamas.
No, not Hamas. Haman.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, but they're the enemy. There is Hamas,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a similar word. It's like
Yeah. Oh, it's a three-cornered hat. My bad. I just went to a Jewish college and everyone lied at me and said it was vaginas.
Well, I'll wear a vagina as a hat. I mean,
Is it true that those hats were made to like make the rain fall out from the sides like gutters?
I have no idea.
I've heard that's like why they look like that.
I have no idea. I'm still looking at this video. Oh no. We got 30 seconds. Who wants to bring up the story? If I can't top any. The top of the second hour. 413-418-COPS, or send a Skype contact request to CopBlock Radio. And if your microphone sounds really good and high quality, we might just keep you on the air for a few segments, as we've done with now guest co-host Nathan. Welcome back, Nathan and Dio. All right, fine, guys.
I'll say hi too.
Yeah. We'll get reconnected with them. But Scott, hello, welcome back. And you've got a story about the White House considering CopBlock a terrorist group. What's going on there?
Let's talk about the other one. Let's talk about the searches. So we've talked several times about stop and frisk. So if anybody's been paying attention down in Washington, D.C., I think it was this week or last week, I can't remember now, there was a gentleman who was a veteran who climbed over the border between the sidewalk and the property and the grass at the White House. I guess he went running across, and he had an important message for Obama or something like that. He thought he was going to make a difference, but it sounded like this gentleman was suffering with some, post-traumatic stress problems after coming back from terrorizing brown people instead of everybody else terrorizing them. So the Secret Service, according to the Times, the Secret Service is considered implementing pedestrian checkpoints and bag searches on sidewalks of the district outside the White House.
That sounds like freedom.
This is very important.
Yes.
These screenings would take place several blocks away from the White House grounds, law enforcement official told the Times. How in the hell can anyone even consider this?
I don't know.
So what they're basically saying is they want to set up checkpoints for people who are walking down the sidewalk. Now, if anybody's been out there who has been to D.C., I've spent a lot of time in Washington D.C. You can literally walk right past the White House. I mean, there's gates and fences and things like that, but you can get in a very close proximity to it just by walking on the sidewalk.
Did you know Americans used to be able to walk into the White House?
That's
legally?
correct. Yes, you could walk right in. But that was before there was all these terrorists and bad people and all the public too.
Yeah, I heard Thomas Jefferson also used to bathe nude in the Potomac.
No, thank you.
Hey, different strokes for different
I heard
folks.
someone say that the White House was modeled after the Vatican.
Oh yeah, not only that,
Really?
the entire District of Columbia is modeled after the Vatican. If you put their images over one another, they align like at, what is it, St. Peter's Cathedral. So yeah, that's worth looking into.
Terrible. So anyway, I just don't understand how, like, what they say they're not going to have, TSA style checkpoints where they, where you have to go through metal detectors and things like that. But anybody who's been to, Washington D.C., there's office buildings, there's hotels, there's, different types of museums right at the White House.
Mm-hmm.
They're all right there. They're within a block or two. So this is going to, basically create a safe zone for people in the White House, but it's going to infringe on every single person that has nothing to do and doesn't give a shit about what's going on in the White House. Not to mention that you could have a van that drives right beside, within, 100, 200, 300 yards, whatever it is. Nobody's going to be stopping and checking vans, or, isn't that how the Oklahoma City bombing,
I think it's kind of
happened?
nice, Scott. It's just a way for the tourists who aren't used to visiting the land of the free to get a real taste of what it's like. They visit the monuments, and then they get patted down by government agents, right?
Welcome
it's just
to
a part of the
Free
process. They get a
free
free
colonics.
groping. In other countries, you got to pay for stuff like that. So in the U.S., you get it for free.
Yeah.
In
free
Las Vegas, you
colonics.
pay extra.
Right.
I know.
But you make a great point that there are going to be tourists who don't even care about the White House, or even people just going to work or doing their thing, and they're just passing by. And now are they going to be stopped and have their bags searched? I mean, I can tell you that they're probably going to be making people want to stay far, far away from the White House unless they really want a picture, or they're doing some sort of activism. They're just going to stay away. I don't want to
One
be in
thing
a
that was
place
really
like
cool about this article at the very end, they talked about back in 2008, because this did happen right. This came out right after this guy was climbed over the fence. But back in 2008, the guy who was Obama's chief of staff, Rahm Emanuel, said, "You never let a serious crisis go to waste."
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is an opportunity to do things you think you could not have done, you could not do before.
Wow, what a great quote to bring up at this
Holy
opportunity,
shit.
because it looks like, yeah, here's something they never could have done before, which is say, we're going to check everyone's bags around the White House, okay? People would have been like, hell no, that's not okay. You can't just check people's bags in the street. That's not freedom. But then some crazy kook terrorist goes and jumps the White House fence, which apparently I heard some reports that they knew about. They were watching this guy, and like he had the machete and stuff in his car. So I don't know. He got all the way up to the door.
Right.
Apparently,
They said he was easily apprehended.
Yeah. So,
Like the
but
place
now
is
because
crawling
of this
with
guy,
scumbags.
everyone else loses their freedom. It's just weird.
Holy
Like, how
shit.
far is the circle gonna go? Like, is it stretch for a mile, 5 miles, 10 miles,
There's
1,000
a lot of
miles?
people.
Well, it's funny.
All the way
It's
to the
funny
border.
actually, because they I know back in the day somebody crashed a plane into the White House, and didn't cause this kind of reaction. I watch a lot of documentaries and stuff like that, and it's funny, especially when you watch like history stuff and whatnot,
Yeah.
to see the climate of the times and the people and what the type of things that pissed people off then
Yeah.
and what pisses people off now. It's like.
And what they're willing to put up with.
Yeah, exactly. It's like night and day, man. I mean, it's really insane.
That is interesting. Anything else you wanted to share on this? I've got my video ready of a DeKalb resident who was stopped at a unconstitutional police checkpoint, and he handles it really well. You guys want to hear this video?
Definitely. This
All
is
right,
cool.
Sure.
take a listen. Oh, you've seen this one, Scott? This is great.
I like it.
The cop loses it. He's telling.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go.
What kind of checkpoint?
It's just a regular
Full
police
retard.
checkpoint. Here you go.
Evening, officer. Before we continue, I'd just like to let you know that you are being recorded right now.
Okay, that's
Always
fine.
a great
Why-
move.
I would just like to know why I'm being pulled over.
We're doing a roadside safety check.
Okay.
Okay.
Am I being detained?
What's that?
Am I being detained?
Well, right now we're just conducting our job, making sure that everyone's on the road driving safely.
Okay. Is that?
Yes, you can. You are not free to leave right now.
So far, everybody's being safe. Am I being detained then?
You're not free to leave.
Am I being detained? If I'm not free to leave, then you're suspecting me of committing a crime. Then am I being detained?
Making sure that everybody's driving safely.
Oh, I understand. Thank you for.
Now, I've explained myself.
Absolutely.
Okay. And we do have the legal right to stop you right now.
Oh, I believe this is
Okay,
unconstitutional,
hold on,
but.
Now, like I said, I've asked you for your driver's license.
You actually didn't ask me for my driver's license, but I'm actually not obligated to provide that if I'm not being detained.
What? You are.
Whoa!
You're obligated. Get out now.
Whoa!
Get out now. Driving's a privilege,
Sir.
not a right. I'm telling you to get out right now.
Excuse me, I'm not.
We asked for your license and insurance. Yes, you are resisting at this point.
No, sir, I
and
can
give us your
provide it.
license and insurance,
Absolutely.
like he was asked.
Absolutely, sir. This is my license here.
Okay, now get your insurance.
Okay.
That's required by law.
All right.
Driving's a privilege, not a right.
Absolutely, sir. I completely
We're not going to
agree.
sit there and debate with you.
Okay, well, this is very unconstitutional what you're doing.
No, you know what?
And
This is not unconstitutional. I already explained it to you. Driving's
Sir.
a privilege and not a right.
Understood. This is my driver's
Good.
license. not
Thank
mine,
you.
sir. You're welcome.
That's what you're required to do to drive in Illinois.
I would-
Do you understand that?
Absolutely.
Do you understand
I would
that?
also like to inform you that you are being recorded right now.
Good.
Okay. Can I please
You were
shut my door?
asked. No.
Since I'm not being detained.
No.
What am I being detained for exactly, sir? If I am
We
being
asked for your
detained.
driver's license and insurance card, which you're required to have when you drive in the state of Illinois.
Understood.
Correct?
Correct. That is correct.
That's
and
what
I
you
do.
were asked
and
for.
I do have that. Correct.
I don't know. I'm looking at it. You refused to
I
provide
did
it
not
originally,
refuse.
didn't you?
Absolutely not. I did not refuse anything.
Is this
I
your
said-
current address?
I would not like
Is
to
this
answer
your
any-
current address?
I'd like to remain silent, sir, unless I have an attorney present.
Is this your current address?
I would like to remain silent, sir. I would like to exercise my Fifth Amendment right.
You have a more current insurance card.
I would like to exercise my Fifth Amendment right. Everything there is completely valid and legal, and I'd like to exercise my Fifth Amendment right from here.
All right, we're going to leave it there. We've got more to this video, but this guy does an awesome job of holding the police accountable, letting them know that they're being recorded, capturing this whole incident on video. I mean, this happens to countless people. But this is great. I want to pull some drops from this, and I think we could use them on CopBlock Radio. Driving's a privilege, not a right! All right, this is CopBlock Radio. You can call in, take control.
Yeah, this shit is common, man. That's the common. That's what they're trying to say. That's what they're going on. You know.
Oh my God.
That's a really video.
Hilarious.
That's what they've been going on. Driving's a right, not a privilege. You're supposed to show your ID when you're driving a car. You know.
So
that's.
Derek, where can I see the video? I'm trying to find it, but
Google.
Driver loses it, or officer
Illinois.
loses it.
You can go check out Greater Cleveland CopBlock on Facebook. I posted it earlier today.
Yeah, it's not anywhere real clear yet because whoever posted the video to YouTube did a crappy job of titling it.
So was the original officer the one who lost it? Because it sounded to me like
No.
it was one officer.
The second guy.
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
it was a new officer who stepped up to the scene and lost
Because
it.
otherwise it sounded like one guy was talking and then suddenly started screaming at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have introduced that or explained it before
Did you
playing
guys
the
see
clip.
Did you see the video of the kid that got shot in the Walmart?
No, I didn't see video of that. There's
Yeah.
video?
Is that the guy who was carrying around a
Facebook.
BB gun that's on his shoulder?
No way. The video is out from that?
Look on Greater
Send me a
Cleveland
link.
CopBlock. I posted it earlier today.
Dio, you
All
have
right.
one?
Where is it?
Give me hold on. Give me a second. I'll post it in the chat.
Word. No. I can't. Oh wait, I'm not in the chat. Let me jump
All
in.
right.
Let me jump in the chat. Hold on. Everybody, hold on.
So much shit going on.
Ah.
Where are we at here?
All right.
Yeah, here we go. Walmart surveillance video.
I'm signing in.
Oh, where the fuck did my link go? There we go.
Just a kind of new question. Is it are you legally required?
There
I
you
think
go.
in Texas you're legally required to show proof of insurance. So is that true in Illinois?
Yeah.
It's true in most states actually, because they're all going by that. It's a right and not a privilege and not a right.
Not
You
in
know?
New Hampshire.
Well, yeah.
Because it sounded like on that video he was saying. It almost sounded like he was suggesting that he only had to show his license and registration and not the insurance.
No, he was saying insurance, which you're required to have. He says.
Yeah.
And his it's really funny the way he says that too, which you're required to have, because it's clear that his mouth is moving faster than his brain.
Which is not a surprise in any way, shape, or form.
Well, what I don't understand is if you're explaining someone's legal obligations to them, why do you have to scream?
Yeah. Whenever you see the video, type in Illinois state cop loses temper and you'll find it. He opens the door and his head is inside the guy's door yelling at him, right in his face.
Well, I don't know. That happened to me. The cop didn't put his face all up in the door, but he opened my car door.
Yeah, whenever you're parked in the...
I don't know if you remember that video.
I do.
No, not when I was parked in the judge's spot. He tries to open my door there, but I was smart because I locked it. That was because I had a previous incident with a police officer who pulled me over for not having my car inspected by the state, having one of the stickers that proves that I went through state inspection. Officer number 1, Harrington in Manchester. I'll never forget. And he opened my car door because I didn't roll my window down all the way, and I lost it. I was like, whoa, like,
excuse you.
I got a link for that video too.
I felt violated.
Nathan.
All right, I got the video for Walmart.
Raped.
We're coming back in 5.
I think I got the video.
That's 213-493-0309.
CopBlock Radio, welcome back. We're live this Wednesday, September 24th, 2014. Talking about an Illinois cop who loses it during one of those unconstitutional police checkpoints. You know the ones. Get waved through, or if you're unlucky, you get waved right into them. You get asked for your ID, your proof of driver's license, insurance, registration, all that stuff. And then you're on your way. If you're lucky, get your papers, just like Nazi Germany used to have.
Who are you?
Papers, please.
Yeah. But
they do it here in Ohio. It's the driver's license checkpoint. It's no longer just looking for DUIs.
You know, luckily, most cops in these situations are very friendly. It's been my experience, at least here in New Hampshire, that the police that conduct these checkpoints are polite and just want to do their job. They're just doing it because they get a grant from the feds. Like, they get extra money for doing the checkpoints because they
Rainbow Babies Children's Hospital here in Ohio.
They report information about the drivers back to the feds. It's an information collection program. So if people are asking, like, oh, well, what is this really all about? One, it's training for you and for them to get used to a situation where you're submitting to authority all your papers and proof of compliance. And then second, it's shoot, I just totally lost it. What was it? It doesn't matter. It's a training program for both you and them.
There you go.
To get everybody used to checkpoints all over the damn place.
Right. Anyway, so let's return to the end of this video where this one Indiana police officer completely loses it on this pretty polite guy who's just asserting his rights. We'll pick it up a little bit before where we left off. And just to be clear, I didn't make this distinction earlier. It's 2 police officers. There are several surrounding the car, but the one who started the conversation was pretty rudely interrupted by some other cop who walks up in the middle of the situation, just starts screaming and opening this guy's car door and gets right up in his face. He gets his head right up into the car as he's screaming at him. So here we'll continue with this video.
Of Illinois. Understood. Correct? Correct. That is correct. That's what you were asked for. And I do have that, correct? I don't know. I'm looking at it. You refused to provide it, didn't you? Absolutely not. I did not refuse anything. Is this your current address? I would not like to answer. Is this your current address? I'd like to remain silent, sir, unless I have an attorney present. Is this your current address? I would like to remain silent, sir. I would like to exercise my Fifth Amendment right. You have a more current insurance card. I would like to exercise my Fifth Amendment right. Everything there is completely valid and legal, and I'd like to exercise my Fifth Amendment right from here on out. Unless I have an attorney. What was that? I would like to exercise my Fifth Amendment right from here on out unless I have an attorney. Say? That I have the right to remain silent. Really? Absolutely.
You sure?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Am I free to leave?
Sit on. Yes, sir,
Thank you.
are.
You guys have a great night.
Never in a million years, when I was in elementary school learning about the Fifth Amendment, did I think it would ever come to this. Like, I had no idea what sort of situation invoking the Fifth Amendment would result in. But guys, your reaction to this video?
That guy nailed it. That guy did a really good job.
Right?
He should have locked
Yeah,
his
just from
door,
his tone.
Dude,
Yeah, lock the
keep
door.
your doors locked. Those criminals will get into your vehicle and they will hurt you.
Yep. That's the lesson. Lock your doors. That's
Yeah.
certainly an important one. And not one that people expect.
One thing that he didn't do, which, I mean, you can go back and you can figure out who it was, but he didn't get the guy's name, and there's got to be some sort of, app or something coming around where you can say, hey, this is what this cop did, and you can link it right to him.
Well, you can Google. I've got a video up. It's an old video now from 2011. Excuse me. Posted by CopBlock. Traffic. If you just search "cop opens my car door," it'll come up in the Google search results. But I'll just fast forward to the part where he opens up the car door. Freaks everybody out. It's ridiculous.
Inspection sticker whatsoever.
You're being recorded, by the way.
Driver's license and registration, please. Probably ought to inform me that you're going to be videoing me if you're going to do it.
I just told you you're being recorded.
I can't hear you at all.
He just did tell you that you are being recorded.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hey!
Who do you think you
are?
Excuse me.
Sir, you have your license and registration, please?
I'm just getting it for you now, but I would like to close my door, please.
You may, as soon as I get your license and reg, please.
All right, so there's just a contrast, the difference in how a polite and friendly officer does things while violating the law, and then how an angry one does things while violating the law.
Well,
Both
I'm sure that makes a difference. If
yeah.
a policeman is menacing you, doesn't it make it even creepier if he has a calm and polite tone?
I don't know. Is that how it comes off to you? Yeah.
There's something in the chat talking about locking your door being sound advice, but then they smashed the window. See, but they would have to escalate it to that situation.
Oh, and they have.
I know they have, but I'm saying like you would have some time. It wouldn't be like you'd be given an opportunity to unlock your door before they actually smash the window. So how far you wanted to drag it up to that point would be, where it would go from there. So
yeah. So speaking of windows, is there a legal obligation to lower the window? Because there was a case I remember hearing where. I remember there was a case where someone lowered the window enough to hear and slide their license through and all that, but not enough to kind of see in. And it was like, I think the cop broke the window. Maybe is that? I'm not sure if that's the one.
Well, yeah, I have an example of a video that can maybe provide some insight on this. Let's turn to a video of Victoria King, a UCF student who was pulled over by police officer Timothy
Matthew, you are detained right now. You are detained right now, and you need to get out of the vehicle. Get out of the vehicle. The law is you are being detained right now because for a traffic infraction. You are being detained for a traffic infraction. Step out of the vehicle. Ma'am, step out of the vehicle. Step out of the vehicle. If you roll it up on my window.
Oh my God, are you serious? I have to go to the hospital.
Get out. Get out of the car right now.
Oh my God.
Get out of the car right now. Get out.
That's a good point. It's a different situation, isn't it? Because at this point, he's trying to remove her. He's not just trying to get her information or communicate.
Well, the window was already rolled down, so she's trying to roll it up on him. I mean, he considered that assault if he wanted to,
Rolling up the window is assault.
I mean, if his hand was inside and she was trying to roll it up and it rolled up on his hand or something like that, then he could bring it up as that. So
sure, I would see it as some intruder who's unwelcome, and I'm trying to keep him out, including his fingers, and that's why I'm rolling up the window to tell him, hey, keep your fingers out. But I guess half a dozen of one, six of the other. So what are we gonna do? We've got this Walmart video. We don't have enough time for it. We're coming up on a break. When we come back, we've got a Walmart surveillance video of the John Crawford III shooting. You want to tease this for us, Tio?
Yeah, down in Beaver Creek, the young man who was executed in the Walmart for carrying a BB gun through Walmart that he had intended to purchase, that he picked up off the shelf and was just walking around looking at other stuff in the store.
And he was black, right?
Say again?
He was African American, correct?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
This is CopBlock Radio. You can call in, share your thoughts. Dial 413-418-COPS or send a Skype contact request to CopBlock. You can also join in the chat room at lrn.fm. This is CopBlock Radio.
There is no such thing as attention span, according to Jerry Seinfeld, who...
Everyone doing all right?
Yep.
Hanging in?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just still trying to find that other video, but I think I got it.
Which one?
The first one with the shouting guy.
I put the both of them in the chat there.
Hilarious.
Free talk or free.
Oh, I thought you meant the Skype chat. Okay.
You know what makes it?
You
know what makes it so great is that video recording. Like that guy was sharing the moment with all of us, with the world. He wasn't alone in his car because he had that video camera. Like, I would have been totally freaked out and a crying, scared little girl if I was totally alone and didn't have a camera or anything to record what was happening with.
It's a very scary experience, especially like when they turn it off on you.
Well, I don't want to make you more scared, Derek, but they can always smash your camera if it's not live streaming. So.
And I've had my live streaming camera smashed, so yeah, it happens.
They took my phone out of my hand and turned off the camera, and I was like, oh shit.
Yep. Yeah, it is a scary feeling. It's disarming, isn't it?
Yep. Yep. When you have the camera, you feel like you have the equalizer, but then when they take it away, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, it feels like. My feeling was that the ground underneath of me just suddenly disappeared. I got that sort of feeling, like.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of explains why normal, average people on the street like the way they feel, because it's like, no one's taping them. They don't have a camera. They don't know what to do. So,
right.
Of course they're going to be scared.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they could arm themselves.
The first time's always the worst, but.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially if he's screaming at you.
Yeah, well, okay, so yeah, that was my point. That's what I like about this video, is this guy was calm and shared the moment with us, probably because, in part, he knew that there would be others who would see it. That's why he was recording, and so he was there with his army of observers, which I think is really powerful.
Do you think he was using a cell phone camera or like some kind of mounted thing?
Unclear.
Yeah, I'm not
There's all kinds of things now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, it's pretty common to put those cell phone clips up by your cars,
Yeah.
So it was probably a cell phone just doing a selfie recording.
Yeah. I mean, he could even have his cell phone up there just as a GPS, and he just turned it. Because the video wasn't that great, I didn't feel like. But I don't know. It's kind of like for the small camera, it was pretty decent.
I pledge allegiance to the following GPS coordinates. Oh, you guys didn't hear that?
What are you talking about?
Sorry, it was a Freedom Fiends joke. I thought Derek would get it.
Oh, worms. No, I missed that.
I think Ben Stone came up with it on Saturday. It was like
it's brilliant.
Instead of pledging allegiance to a flag, you pledge to your GPS coordinates.
Oh, I love it. So we can be more specific about the plot of dirt that we came from.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that gets really complicated, because is it the plot of land where I was birthed, or the plot of land where I grew up, or?
I understand that.
Yeah. We got to get really specific. Oh, we're coming back. 10 seconds.
I know.
963 800 301 2963.
You can interact with other LRN listeners in our message board at forum.lrn.fm. That's forum.lrn.fm.
CopBlock Radio. You're listening live at lrn.fm. Joining us, we've got a whole cast in virtual studio here. We've got Nathan and Dio across the tubes, as well as Scott.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
What's
going on? So
I can't believe it's already like an hour and a half in.
I mean, yeah, holy cow, this flies. Someone in the chat room gave a link to a website called fairdui.org, and we've mentioned this before, but it has a wonderful resource that anyone could easily print out and keep in their glove box compartment if they ever get pulled over in one of these warrantless checkpoint areas. It says, "I remain silent, no searches, I want my lawyer. Please put any tickets under windshield wiper. I am not required to sign. I am not required to hand you my license. Thus, I am not opening my window. I will comply with clearly stated lawful orders." And so this helps you or anyone to remain silent while still communicating all the information that you want to the officer. The website is fairdui.org.
Where are they getting
you brought up the
statutes
idea
from?
of lawful orders. Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
Go
So-
ahead.
You got to be careful on this one, man. This is a
Why?
It looks very border specific.
no, yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say because they're saying it's this. You know, I'm not required to sign like state statute 318.14 paragraph 2. That's going to be, you know, a statute for Florida, which is where this guy's based out of.
Yeah,
so you need to figure out state specific because in Pennsylvania,
right.
I don't think that this would fly. I'm not. New Hampshire, I'm sure there's whatever. Ohio.
Well, what I was wondering is,
Ohio, no way. You got to show your license when you're behind the wheel of a car. That's required.
oh yeah, but if they say this is what I wonder if the reason why you ask if you're being detained, because if they say yes, does that mean that you have to comply with everything they say? Like they say, get out of the car, put your hand on the car, do a dance. Like what's
That's
the
state specific.
Well, yeah,
Pennsylvania, you're required to get out of the car.
If you go to fairdui.org/flyer, they've got the explanations broken down by state there. They've got Utah, Texas, Georgia, South Carolina, Jersey, a bunch of states, all different versions. So you can click the one that's right for you. And they do have a warning that this is not for everyone or for every situation. So, you know, just a legal caveat, but very helpful and useful info.
Well, because I'd always wondered, like, because Ian on Free Talk Live always talks about how useful it is to ask, am I being detained? But what do you do if they say yes versus no? I mean, if they say no, you can leave, but what do you do? What happens if they say yes?
That's up to you.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like I know they can do a different search if you're under arrest versus if you're not under arrest. So I was thinking maybe your rights change slightly in their view if you are being detained.
Yeah, if you're being detained, obviously you don't have the right to go. And I think it's probably state specific because I think in New Hampshire you're required to give your name and your hometown, but I don't think you have to give any other information. Certainly no documents.
Oh, okay. So if like you were walking down the street, you wouldn't have to produce identification of where you live. But then if they say, oh, well, yes, you are being detained, then in New Hampshire, legally, you would have to tell them where you live or your name.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, Ohio too.
Because that means if they're detaining you, they suspect you of committing a crime, like probably some like robbery or something that happened in the area that you're like pulled over or just walking around in the area that a crime was committed.
Wouldn't make anything up, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it could also be legitimate. It could be like, hey, you match the description of some guy who just robbed the bank down the street, so I'm asking you who you are, where you're from, as part of this investigation.
Yeah, Liberty Phoenix always likes to ask, what is your articulable suspicion of wrongdoing, I think.
Yeah, it's there is a specific thing, like I've asked this of police before too. Like I was detained at a school for handing out flyers, some information about the militarization of the police, and they said, you're being detained. I said, what is your reasonable, articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime? And they were like, just go. like, get out of here. We don't want. We're not going to answer your questions.
We submit. We
So-
submit. Uncle.
No, they didn't submit. I had to submit.
They told you to get out. They told you to get out of there. They didn't detain you.
Oh no! They chased me out. They walked me out off of the property. They were like, "You're leaving with us, or you're under arrest." I'm still banned from all Keene schools, I believe. But anyway, yeah, you don't have a right to hand out literature on public property if it's a school, apparently. Let's turn to a video of private property where John Crawford III was shot by police in a Walmart. Dio, set this up for us, or at least talk over the video here. Over the next 2 minutes, we've got the video playing. Here he is, John Crawford III, making a turn into the home sporting goods aisle. So, what else? What's going on, Dio?
Yeah, I mean, I can't see the video you're playing right now, but the video that I saw, if it's the one that's, that I posted the link for, he's just walking through the store and he picks up the gun from the sporting goods department or whatever, and he's walking around with it and he's talking on the phone and he's looking at other things in the store, and then there's spots in the video where it says that they can't find him, like he's not on video or whatnot, and then next thing you know, at the end of the video they're going to cut in the dispatch that's actually speaking. And when after the shots are fired, you can hear somebody say, "I with something like I can't believe it," or "It's you're not going to believe this," or something. Or, "You got to be kidding me," I think it is what he said actually, and it sounds to me as though the person that took the shot was like, "Oh my God, it's an air rifle. I just shot somebody." You listen to it.
2026.
Bang, and then
Sir, what's going on?
Gunshots in the store.
The police are entering the Walmart.
Did you hear him say, "You got to be kidding me"?
All right.
I just heard these shots fired. Started an ambulance.
No, let's back that up. This is where the police are entering the store. The Beaver Creek police.
You have two views. There's them entering and
Gunshots in
John
the store.
Crawford.
Police officers are here.
Wow. So there is no time before the police show up and before he is on the ground. The first cop to walk through the door shoots that man. Here, I'm going to back it up again. You can see pretty clearly because you've got two angles on it, one from the side and one through a perspective of doors, like one from far above. And gosh, as soon as the police walk in, he is right on the ground.
You never nobody ever says drop it or anything. It's just
listen carefully.
Sir, what's going on?
Gunshots in the store.
There's no one
here. They're on the scene.
No one around. There's no one around this man. He's standing totally alone. It's not even as if like, oh, we see there's a hostage situation. He's pointing the gun at them. He was just standing there alone, looking at some items, shopping in a Walmart, and then the next second he's dead.
There's actually going to be an open carry protest march on October 4th in front of that Walmart because, like I said before, this could have been anybody. Ohio has an open carry law. You're allowed to open carry in public, and Beaver Creek has a history of misquoting that law and going after and harassing people that are just exercising their rights.
Well, it's up to you. It's up to you to change the culture, to live differently, to live courageously, so that people can see what it's like. Be the leader, so that other people can see and follow. Be brave. This is CopBlock Radio. Call in, take control.
Shiny badges on your jacket. Shiny badges.
This is Davi Barker from ShinyBadges.com.
You heard that, right?
Heard what?
When it said, "You got to be kidding me"?
I did not hear that. You want me to play it again?
maybe if you listen to it with just listen to it without the headphones or anything like that, and just try to listen to the audio. There was a spot in there I could have swore. I'm telling you, I heard somebody say, "You got to be kidding me," as if the person who shot the guy, after walking up on him, realized that it was only an air rifle.
Okay, I'll pull up the video again. Where's the link? I've lost it. Oh, here. I got it.
And this guy was a teenager?
No,
he
was 23, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he had 3 kids. He was like an adult.
Did you talk about how the grand jury declined to indict this officer for...
I did not say anything about that. No.
Yeah,
Did they
say
that did they say the police officer's word is stronger than a video?
They're just saying that he didn't do anything wrong. See, here's where it gets tricky.
Didn't do anything wrong. Walks up in on the scene, doesn't know a damn thing, shoots a man dead. Didn't do anything wrong.
Scared for his
life. I'm with you, but here's where it gets tricky. Granted that the cop that shot him didn't ever say nothing about, drop it or anything like that, and just dropped him. I'm giving you that. But the guy who made the fucking phone call in the first place is the one who is truly responsible for what happened.
Yeah.
He is
absolutely right.
He is the one that created the panic.
They should actually be able to find that
Well,
person.
They do.
I'm not sure I agree. I'm not sure I agree with that, because just because the police get a call doesn't mean that the call is valid, right?
No.
I mean, they have to perform an investigation.
The police are a deadly gang. They kill people and they ask questions later. So when you call the police on someone, you're responsible for sicking a tiger on them.
When I tell you that Beaver Creek has a history of not dealing with open carry correctly, we have a guy down there. We have a guy down there named Virgil who was actually accosted by 2 Beaver Creek police officers. He was sitting in a restaurant eating lunch, open carrying his firearm, and he actually got the tape, the disc tape. The dispatcher calls the sergeant in charge at home, I guess, and asks him what the law is on open carry. The sergeant misquotes the law to the dispatcher, who then sends 2 police officers who think that it's illegal to carry a firearm to go confront Virgil in the store.
Yeah, but what you're saying there is that it's a mistake. I thought Derek was saying it was
that
the
Beaver
person.
Creek has no clue about the fucking open carry law here in Ohio, is what I'm saying.
They don't have the clue anywhere, Dio. In Philly, 2 guys were shot dead who were legally open carrying. Actually, only one was shot dead. The other one was just detained and held at gunpoint. But they were both legally open carrying, because all it takes is a concealed carry license in Philly to be able to open carry. The police didn't know that. They're just not used to seeing people open carry. Oh my God, a guy with a gun, shoot him, bang, dead. Oh,
Isn't that
turns out
bizarre
it was
that
legal.
It's very bizarre.
So-called enforcement officers don't even understand the law they're enforcing.
Yeah.
Yep. That's disturbing when you're talking about an open carry law, firearms situation.
Yes, it is. Okay, we're coming back in 10.
At amp.freetalklive.com. That's amp.freetalklive.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
CopBlock Radio. There's still time for your call if you make it quickly. 413-418-COPS. Or send a Skype contact request to CopBlock Radio. And you can share your thoughts about John Crawford III, shot dead by Beaver Creek police. Hey, we just watched a video of a man being shot in a Walmart, just basically standing there by himself. What happened, Dio, to the police officer who shot that innocent man?
He's been cleared. Nothing happened to him at all. Nothing happened to him at all, and nothing happened to the person who actually made the false phone call in the first place.
Now tell me why that's important.
Just to be clear, we're talking about a uniformed law enforcement officer responding to a call who essentially gunned down a man who appeared to have a gun on site. That's what we're talking about.
Exactly. Thank you for that recap, Nathan. Now, why is it important, Dio, to include in your depiction of the events the man who called the police?
Well, because Beaver Creek police, in the first place, don't have a clue as to about the open carry laws in Ohio. We have people down there that have been accosted by them, where they've actually gotten the dispatch tapes from the phone calls, and it showed that the dispatcher called her supervisor to find out the law, who then misinformed her, who then misinformed the police officers who were sent out to deal with our friend out there. So now you have this person who made a false phone call and created this situation by causing this type of this same type of reaction in these police officers who obviously don't know the law, and sent them into a situation where, you know, I mean, that, like I said, that could have been anybody. You have the right to open carry. He was doing nothing illegal. He was if it was anybody, if it was somebody else, it wouldn't have been a problem. You know, it's wrong place, wrong time. The situation was all like invented by the guy who, and he admitted he lied about the phone call that he made.
There's going to be an open carry march?
Yes, on October 4th, they're going to at the Walmart in Beaver Creek. There's going to be an open carry protest there in front of the place because, as I said, this could be anybody. This could have been anybody. I mean, if you live in Beaver Creek and you were carrying your firearm legally, and you walked into this Walmart to go shopping, it very well could have been you that could have been shot that day.
Now, I just did a quick Google search, Dio, of the distance between Dayton, Ohio, and Beaver Creek, and it's about 12 minutes. Will you be participating in the open carry march?
If I can get to ride down there, I certainly will. It's a bit far from Cleveland, but it's you know, it's definitely something that's important to I would love to go if I could.
Oh, okay, excellent. Yeah, I thought, yeah. So, okay, great. Well, what else about this story? Is there going to be any justice? What would justice look like?
You know, I don't know. It's very hard to tell.
This guy had three kids, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And like I said, it's as far as the police officers, you know, fault in the thing, from what I can see, is there's no hesitation, no order of like drop the gun or anything like that. Just walked in, saw the guy, saw the gun, boom, shot him.
Is this one of those situations where there's an opportunity for some sort of settlement? Could the widow of this man?
I mean, I hope so, for their own sake, you know. I mean,
because now
I hear about that a lot.
Yeah.
Like whenever I bring this up to like my friends, they always say, "Oh, well, they should sue."
Well, you know, I mean,
how much money is it? What would it take? How much money?
Oh, I don't know. What's a life worth? You want me to put a price on a human life? I'm not going to do that.
Justice is relative.
Yeah, it would be nice, at least from my perspective, if the cop was at least fired. In the current system, there's no way to get any kind of financial recompense from him. But at the very minimum, I would like to see him fired.
Yeah, fired. That would be some form of justice. I would like to see him blacklisted as a cop so they can't be hired anywhere. I think, you know, someone who walks in and just shoots a man and then gets off scot-free, okay, the least you could do to him is make sure that he isn't put in that same position of power over another human being ever again.
You take him off the streets at the very least. I mean, I can't, like I said, for the police's part, that would be, to me, what they did wrong. As you know, if I was to be the one to judge the case, I would say that's what they did wrong. That, in addition to firing a high-powered rifle in a fucking store, I mean, he's got no idea what was behind the target. So, I mean, you know,
that's a good point.
I mean, who knows who else could have got shot, you know? But the guy who made the call deserves some responsibility and some justice come to him as well. So, you know, me personally, I wouldn't put all the onus on the police department, but it's definitely, they had their part.
There's a really good thing, you know, one thing that we're trying to talk about justice, and it kind of reminded me, I assume most everybody knows Adam Kokesh at this point, but he had that free ebook that was called Freedom. He has about a 2-page section that I recently read on justice, and he talks about the difference between justice and punishment. It's actually pretty interesting, and I think that, you know, whenever we start talking about trying to get justice for somebody, somebody's dead. You can't equate those two things. You can't bring the person back. Nothing is gonna. How would you make that person whole?
Yeah. How do you make them whole?
Like the other person. Who would you compensate and how? What would it look like?
I don't know.
His kids, obviously. I mean.
I feel like this officer should be personally responsible. Like it should come from his paycheck. Like if people can be indentured to the government so that their paychecks are garnished or whatever at every time they work. Like I had one caller call into Peace News Now who said he didn't pay taxes for 8 years, and now that he's got a regular slave job, they're taking 100% of his paycheck until he pays up his back taxes. So if you can be indentured to the government like that, can't you be indentured to a person who you killed? Can't
They're
you?
taking 100% of his paycheck.
Yeah, he gets no money from
the money. So he was earning money and not paying taxes before.
That's a good incentive to get a job, huh?
No,
really.
This sounds horrible and stupid. Yeah, actually, that doesn't make any sense. Because why would he work? I don't know, but that's what he called in. That's what he said.
Go on welfare.
Yeah. I don't know.
Give me a plus pass.
But yeah, it's certainly true that you can't fully restore someone if they've lost a loved one, but in the concrete, those 3 kids no longer have any financial resources now because that's been taken away from them. And at a minimum, what you're saying would be nice if there was some way to make him like repay them financially, but unfortunately, the system doesn't allow that.
Well, why not?
The system doesn't allow for much for compensation when it comes to anything having your rights violated at all.
Well, but hey, if a woman can sue McDonald's for spilling coffee on herself, well, can't a guy who lost his life, or can't a widow whose husband died at the hands of a trigger-happy police officer sue for something?
Well, McDonald's has a lot of money, and presumably this individual may not have that much money. And even if there was some kind of big settlement, it would probably come out of the tax dollar, the tax rolls.
Oh, right.
There's a perfect sentence in here in that little ebook. It just says, "When we turn to government for justice, we are turning to institutions based on violating rights in order to protect them."
Right.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, you can't rely on them, unfortunately. So what can you rely on, guys?
Public shaming, man. Remember the guy who killed Kelly Thomas?
Oh yeah, the guy in the Denny's.
I'm telling you, man. I'm for it. All right, you can't shop here. You can't. I don't want you to be around my children. Point them out. Talk about that shit. Like, hey, that guy sitting right there, he fucking killed somebody.
Was that a video or was that just some pictures?
I can't remember. I know that there was multiple articles about it.
Because if there's
was it just that one Denny's?
I'm not sure.
As far as I know, it was. I've got the picture. I've got one still frame at least of the officer who assisted in the killing of Kelly Thomas. Here's the photograph of him leaving the Denny's after a public shaming by a local who spotted and recognized him. So here he is taking a sip of water as he leaves. And
they got knocked off their Little League coaching deals too, I think.
Oh, good. They shouldn't be teaching Little League if they're murderers.
No, it's true, but I'm saying, like, somebody asked if that was all that ever happened.
Yeah, because
I think
if it's just one place, then they can always go somewhere else. It has to be like a community thing to work.
You gotta carry a video camera. Bring one with you everywhere you go. Have a live streaming app ready and quickly accessible on your phone. I want to thank Dio, Nathan, Scott for joining me tonight. This has been CopBlock Radio. We'll be back next Wednesday. CopBlock.org.
Keenvention is coming up October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at keenvention.info. Keenvention.
Cool, guys. Thank you so much for being on. This has been great. And closing thoughts? Anything else?
Well, I was wondering, do you think one day video recognition technology might progress to the point where you could have some kind of app and then you could put people who are, let's say, people like this on the app, and then people could, you know.
Oh, totally. Yeah, you'll recognize the bad cop. Like, oh, hey, computer, whenever I encounter that dude who killed Kelly Thomas, I don't know what he looks like, but, you know, like that guy, and he's in the database, right?
Somebody was working on getting a database up, or something like that, but I don't know where it ever went.
Well, that's the thing. If it's a government database, sorry, go ahead.
I want a database of all the police.
Police yearbook.
Police yearbook. Oh, that's so cute. I love it. Yeah, because they want to hide from accountability, right?
Oh my God.
But a yearbook, like, you know, everyone gets their little flash of fame.
The drug task force criminals around here, you can't find pictures of them anywhere.
Right.
But
it's tough.
They're stupid because you can find them on Facebook if you know their names.
Well,
they're so dumb.
And like every Saturday night, if we go out here in Keene, we'll catch liquor commission people undercover busting, and they try to hide from the cameras, but they can. If there are 3 cameras, you've got no chance of hiding, and your face is going to be it's going to have your picture taken, so you're going to be online. They can't remain anonymous anymore, especially if we take it upon ourselves to make that public information even more available.
But you know what they're going to say, right? They're going to say, "Oh, well, now we can't do our jobs if you're going to, you know, expose our secret identities.
Good.
We're superheroes."
Yes, you shouldn't be doing your jobs.
There should be a Yelp for police departments and police officers.
A Yelp? How would that? Oh,
maybe there
like
already
a rating,
is.
like a rating
Like
system.
Ratings thing, yes.
Yeah, like I had an encounter with such and such officer.
Yeah, and that guy was a dick. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah. Okay, I dig it.
Get started on that. There you
Good
go.
idea.
New project.
That's that's a better idea than what I was thinking, because I was thinking of a website, but an app is
it's
even
gotta
better.
Be an app.
Yeah, it should be an app. And
Yeah,
I was
an app
just
where
thinking,
you would.
Go ahead.
I don't know. Would you? It would have to be like
with
based on
facial recognition. I can't do that, but I'll have a picture of them. You can use your own facial recognition. You can see if the picture matches up.
Or you could just do like the mug, like you just scroll down through like people that are close to you. Like whenever you're in an area, like okay, I'm in Pittsburgh, and you could see it'd be kind of hard to be whenever you're in an area with more cops. But like if you were in an area that doesn't have a lot of officers, you could just kind of like scroll through, just like you're going through pictures, and find their names and find a picture or their
yes. If it was like sorted by town and you had only a few cops to choose from, you could
like
see their
Officer
picture.
Smith. Okay, I can search by name, or I can go by
Or
by
badge
face.
number, or
badge
this is the other thing I was thinking, or by a driver's what's it called? The tag, driver's tag.
Well, see,
what's that called?
They don't all have
plates.
their own cars though.
Yeah, I know, but but if you started databasing that stuff, you would start to have a pretty good chance. Like if you put in the
Like car 43.
yeah, say like car 43 or all of the information, you would be able to start to see like, oh, okay, it's the driver plate number this. It's probably one of these 3 cops, like who are on at this time, and like you could do it by the shift, the different shifts that they work. You could have, it could be totally decentralized. People submitting tips like, oh, I saw this cop working at this time, so you know what shift they're working, right? Like you can keep track of all this kinds of data, and why not? This is public information.
Well, that could be the world that we're heading for, because in David Friedman's book, Future Imperfect, he talks about a hypothetical future where it's basically a totalitarian police state, but in the sense that they record everything, but there's also justice in that citizens record everything back. So everyone records everything, and then I guess it makes it harder for them to be totalitarians.
Well, we're definitely headed there.
Right on. Well, that's a happy conclusion to end on.
And people already. I mean, there's cameras everywhere. It's not it's not just the police you got to worry about.
Nope. Carry a video camera.
100%. I'm still just caught up on the dude with taking the money out of his paycheck.
It couldn't be 100% because then no one would work if you.
I think they have to leave you like. It's a very small percentage. How long did he pay taxes
30,
for?
40% or something. They have to leave you with.
Yeah.
Well, did they have any evidence that he was making money in those 8 years? I mean, what if he was unemployed during those 8 years?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't know what that was all about. I think they did have that evidence because he was 1099, is what he said. He was an independent contractor, basically. Someone was submitting reports about how much money he was supposed to be paying, and he wasn't. So.
Yeah, I believe the IRS.
There's only 2 ways to get a legit job, man. 1099 or fucking, have them already take it out for you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like anything else, unless you got like good contacts with under the table paying people and stuff like that, then you're gonna work above ground. It just isn't, there's no way around it.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is the solution for most people. But it's gonna take people like you and me making the difficult choice to not take a comfortable inside the system job, and working creatively to find other peaceful paths. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys being on tonight. We gotta go, but thanks.
I'm glad to hear you're feeling better.
And chat with you later. Oh yeah, thank you. I'm feeling much better.
Good.
Cheers, guys. And if you enjoyed this program, you can make a donation to me, Derek J, by sending a Bitcoin donation to the QR code on your screen, or by going to derekj.me/sponsor. All of the content I put up on the web every day I do for you, completely free. But if you enjoy the content, it's helpful for me to know that. And the way that you can best communicate it is by sending me a small Bitcoin donation. I suggest about 50 cents a podcast. That sounds pretty cheap and easy enough. Plus, there are no fees with Bitcoin, so I get all 50 cents. Thanks again. Every donation counts.